Good evening, fellow procrastinators. I'm your host, Fat Pat, and with me, as always, is Sofail.
Yep, this is on me.
With us also today, we have the guys in charge of MythCon, Mythicist Milwaukee, Brian, Sean, and Fritz. Say what's up, guys.
What's up, guys?
What's up? What's going on?
Wow, you said it like it's one name.
I did.
He jumped around. It was like
Well, they all have their wieners tied together. It's kind of like a Cerberus thing, but like with wieners. Three heads. All right, look, it's been a panic attack over here.
Yes,
I told everyone 8:30 anyway, so I don't know why you're upset.
He always adds 30 minutes to everything we do.
Because I know, for some reason, because we're always going to be late. And I was like, that way we'll say in our heads it's going to be 8 o'clock, but we will actually give everyone else 8:30. Boom, you went ahead and said, nah, hard 8. What happens? Basically 8:30.
Yeah, look, we rebooted everything was really choppy. Something was going on. We booted our cable modem, and it factory reset itself. So I had to reset up the network settings in the modem. That's why it took a moment. So thanks for being patient with us, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
No, well, look, we've been wanting to have you on, and I wanted to talk about the conference. But you know what? Before we can do any of this, and for those of you playing the game at home, it's time for the first round of shots. So if you got them, start pouring them. We're going to roll in the Jaeger cart. Oh, you know how this works, audience.
Be upon him. All right. Look at that.
That's what the Patreon does.
All right. He's gonna go ahead and pour the first round of shots. We're gonna try to stay aggressive with them today. But anyway, look.
Is that Red Bull?
Yes.
Okay.
In the Red Bull refrigerator.
Damn. Okay.
As in Jaeger in the Jaegerator.
Gas. Okay.
Serious advertising power.
They're gonna do this shit.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, a super chat came in. Pat, it's all about you. I'm okay with it. $5 from Adam Maggold says I'm okay with it. I just went to lunch, so I didn't miss anything. See, we did this just for you, man. So thanks everybody for waiting for Adam to go to lunch.
Blame
Appreciate.
the motor company. I don't know who it was, but it's a factory reset. It's not your fault.
Oh, it's a really expensive modem. I have a super expensive network. I'm really frustrated. But, whew, all right, let's get this drink in me, and then we'll get our fingers in our guests.
That's great.
Oh.
You have my consent.
All right, look. First of all, for some of the people in the audience may not be familiar with your conference, and I figured I would let you guys tell us what you think and intend this conference to be.
What's the mission statement?
Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, the MythCon specifically is an ideas conference. So it's all about ideas and conversations between people who don't necessarily agree. And like the mission and vision statement of like Mythicist Milwaukee, which is like the organization itself, MythCon just being the con, is to promote viewpoint diversity, to limit the effects of authoritarianism, whether that be religious, political, or what have you, with the vision of a more pluralistic society.
Pluralistic. Google that. That's a great. We support
It
pluralism.
means multiple
Right, it means you're not allowed to
listics.
say singulars. Everything has to be plural.
Well, so more egalitarian as well.
Yeah. So deer. no,
Yeah,
deer.
and for us, like we came out of atheism. Like when we first started MM almost 6 years ago now, we started partnering with like a lot of atheist organizations, and we were really utilizing the mythicist position to promote secularism. And I know you guys kind of have the similar history. You guys were kind of in atheism, organized atheism, and you know a lot of the players and a lot of the orgs and all that stuff. And so that's kind of where we were. And you know, as an organization, we've evolved over time. We started utilizing entertainment, comedy. You know, we've partnered with the Wu-Tang Clan, Eric Andre, you know, things like that. And
Wait. You've partnered with Wu-Tang?
Do you know who they are?
We brought the Wu-Tang to DC for the
that's
reason.
gonna mess up this alt-right meeting I thought we were going to.
Well, yeah, also Hannibal Buress and Eric Andre. So yeah, totally.
Eric Andre. Well, they're a meme right now. They're super into the memes.
I guess you could be a non-white white nationalist.
Yeah,
maybe.
so we've
Right.
like been transitioning and pivoting and evolving as an organization, and I know we'll talk about MythCon IV, but some people just didn't like the innovation that we're going for. So
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, you have questions? You prepared for this?
Yeah, there's
So proud.
the pushback. Now, obviously, this is the 5th year. What you said that you start off as more of an atheist conference, and you were trying to more evolve, spread the wings, I guess, for what it's supposed to be. Kind of what the whole conversation on YouTube in particular has shifted over the last 3 years from being exactly one, just being so heavily just atheist to then just more skeptical and then skeptical about everything, and then that's how I took what MythCon was.
Yeah, you weren't just listening to him.
But I hope not. But I'm saying that's what my impression was. But what I'm saying is, so the pushback is that what the pushback has been? It's just that you've broadened the concept.
That's essentially it. I mean, we started out with, like we said, with religion. Kind of combating different ideas with religion. And when we started out with that piece, our transition over to more social pieces still tackles the same ideas that we always believe in, with being a critical thinker, being a rational thinker, and just being against the idea of wrongthink. I mean, there's so much viewpoint diversity in the world. I mean, when we channeled our energy with religion, there's a lot of wrongthink when it comes to us questioning the historicity of Jesus. But now when it comes to some of these social political aspects that we want to spread our audience to, or spread our work towards, now there's a larger population of people or a different population of people that now have an issue with the questions that we're posing. And we're not even really putting out those questions. We're providing a platform for people with different viewpoints to come together and share their ideas.
Well, I mean, like there are some people that with organized atheism that are like, hey, when we come to a con, we want to be with other atheists, and they want people who kind of believe the same. That way they can kind of get out of their normal life. So we got a little pushback from that, but to be honest, there was just a ton of people that didn't like Sargon. And
that's what I wanted to get to.
Quick.
That's why I got this big name written right here.
Sargon of a fraud.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have
A lot
definitely
of people
noticed
had
that.
never heard of us that hated Sargon, and we're like,
And it's hard to believe that in any group you're not going to have different viewpoints on other aspects as well. I mean, that's just the way that we are as humans. I mean, we look different, we think differently. In some areas we come together with our ideas, in other ways we look similar and act similar. I mean, it's just the way that humans are. I mean, it's beautiful.
people conceptualize it differently. I always looked at those kind of conferences as, man, this is the place I can ask anything. I would talk about all kinds of things, and everyone wanted to talk about stuff. Hey, let's talk about science. Let's talk about politics.
I've always been the guy. I automatically pick the opposite side of whatever the fence is whenever someone starts talking about, especially if it starts to feel too much like an echo chamber. I'm always like the devil's advocate. Like, I'm always like, I'll just go. Like, I'm just willing to debate. I'm willing to just be on the other side, regardless if I actually give
You're
a shit.
fucking contrarian, is what you are.
Sure.
And the fact that you said that as well, that is actually something that I get pointed to a lot. Is sometimes I purposely play devil's advocate just to see where the conversation goes, kind of like to stimulate my own thinking.
Yeah, it's to stimulate mine and theirs, but yeah.
Right, exactly. But a lot of times it's I get labeled, you're just being contrarian. You just want to be against whatever the normal viewpoint is. That's not the case. I just, maybe by me playing devil's advocate, I'm going to actually be challenged to say, oh, you know what? That's a good point.
That's how I feel when I'm going into it. It's more like maybe I'm trying to convince myself. Maybe they can convince me.
You're trying to convince yourself you're not an asshole. Go ahead.
No, I'm a dick. But it's more like I'm like because I'm skeptical. I immediately go, well, I want to see both sides. If I had to argue the opposite, how would I argue the opposite? Do I feel like I'm making a good point, or does this argument fall apart? And can they combat whatever argument I say? And then I have an overall feeling on both sides of the whole spectrum. But yeah, I do tend to just immediately go against. I had a bit of a back and forth on Twitter actually over the MythCon guys. Had some falling outs that happened, and I really saw some pushback because particularly the inclusion of roaming millennial because she apparently is a Catholic or Christian.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know. But
Yeah, it was funny. We were actually just at Kilroy, and we were.
Oh, you guys went to Kilroy?
they say
Yeah,
Kilroy's from what I
we were
heard.
there, and yeah, we were speakers, and like we were after the event, we were in a discussion, and it was so funny because roaming millennial, the nicest person I've ever met in my life, super intelligent, like I can't say enough good things about her, and she was actually like we were arguing with a couple of like attendees, not arguing, like debating ideas, you know, and she was actually like siding with me on utilizing science and stats for like global warming and things like that, and I'm thinking, that's funny, you know, like me and I even said to roaming, it's funny, it's like my Christian friend is actually, you know, arguing for science. So it was really great. And yeah, I mean the fallout, or I guess I don't even know about this fallout, but the commentary when we invited her was just ridiculous. Like the thing like with MythCon, with all of these other atheist conferences, we used to want to talk to the religious. We used to want to engage with people that were religious. I mean, if you look at Madeline Murray O'Hare and what she did, and it really took a lot of like you know, Dawkins with his book and like the Four Horsemen, they were out there challenging religious people all the time, and the religious people gave them a seat at the table and said, let's sit down and talk, even though we don't agree. And now it looks like this atheist community, it's if you're not in the right think, they don't want you to be a part of it. And it's really bizarre to me. I always thought this this community was prided itself on critical thinking and asking the tough questions. And you know, going through this experience with what we've gone through, it's really for me, it's been very disappointing to see how this atheist community has responded to.
Well, that's how I felt. I saw it look like, was it that was because maybe at one point I basically thought, did I understand what the conference was? Because it seems like some of the people, which I really was shocked by, that were upset with the direction of the conference, was like, when I started boiling down, I was like, did they just want the echo chamber? They just wanted to have their hug buddies around? I don't understand. I was like, because partially we like having our back and forth on situations where we get into the skeptic community, we get into our with our audience. Now we obviously went the jokey route, but it was more like we wanted to make our point in it with the joke, but I wanted to be able to confront somebody directly. And going to like particularly MythCon or something like that, I'm like, sounds like this would be the perfect opportunity to have someone that maybe not have the same ideals as you, to have that confrontation back, you know, or that debate with them face to face, or at least hear their ideas out, and, you know, instead of having to troll through their videos, and just, you know, you can ask them directly.
I find it hard to believe that you're going to find anyone with which you absolutely agree with every single thing with which that person says. Imagine what's happening right now with Kanye West and his viewpoints that he's been putting out right now.
Yeah, what a fucking moron.
You know, so, well, you know, whatever you think about him, I mean, you know, people are looking at him and saying, well, you're black, why are you saying these things in support of Trump? It's like, well, who's to say that you have to have this exact same ideal just because you fall into this specific demographic?
Yeah, you know what, and that's a valid point. Look, I'm a longtime atheist, and it has been a liberal thing for a long time.
Yeah,
it has.
But there was viewpoint diversity within atheism.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, there was, but
libertarians, lefties, liberals, all across the board.
Yeah, but back, 10, 15 years ago, conservative atheists kept their mouths shut, and that's how I liked it.
No, it's true, but I think that a lot of conservative atheists came in at the end. Like, creationism just got crushed. I mean, remember that the Venom Fang X and those guys, they were part of the community, right? They were. Like, and then
Vigilant Christian Mario, we love you, buddy.
That's the other reason. Like, we used to make only atheist videos, but we stepped away from atheist videos.
We ran out of Lockhouse.
Yeah, I was telling Faye about this earlier. I just kind of said, like, I felt like the audience was getting ahead of the joke, and that I was like, that our premise was kind of very one-dimensional, and there was nowhere we could go, and the Christian right really just kind of fell off and stopped. Like, Josh Fierstein really kind of just shut his mouth.
Well, he moved his mouth to Facebook, where none of us go because our mothers are there.
Yeah, I can't yell at him on. And Vigilant Christian Mario is just, I mean, he's still kind of chugging along, but it's like, how many times do you keep punching the same punching bag? And then it was like, well, none of this was being fun anymore. So then we just kind of started setting our sights on other situations. And the whole audience was going towards, like, going after SJWs or feminism and stuff anyway. And so we did the bathrooms and stuff, about the intergender bathrooms.
Yeah. YouTube atheism really married the skeptic. All right, the skeptic community was created out of YouTube atheism and the anti-SJW crowd, like kind of coming together. There was a lot in common at the time, and even though I'm a liberal, I was embarrassed by the SJW movement and the things that were happening back in 2016. You can still find examples of that crap happening today. It's just, I don't know. I find it to be less important today. You know, that 20 blue hairs on a college campus are getting mad. But the thing is, so politics and atheism, especially on YouTube, became intertwined so completely that we're having a very, I don't know if it'll ever be broken up.
Well, that's where I see the problem is that obviously this is the fifth year of MythCon, and it's like it seems like the OG fans of MythCon like their first album, but doesn't like the direction they've gone. They've gotten too experimental.
And that's it. If that
They're like,
was
what's this white album shit?
If that was the case, we didn't. If that was the case, I would be fine with that. But it's actually the critics that aren't showing up to the conference that have the issue with it. The critics that aren't, not only are they not showing up, they never intended to show up. They don't even know where Milwaukee is on the map. So the critics a lot of the critics that are coming at us have no idea where the Pabst Theatre even is. And so yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to that. And the funny thing is, like, when you guys are explaining the skeptic world and the YouTube world, the organized atheists the organized atheism that we came out of, they don't even know that. They don't even understand the skeptic community. They don't understand the YouTube community.
Some don't. It's usually age-based.
Right.
The older you get, like
the Matt the Aaron Ross, the Seth Andrews, like they don't understand that world at all. There's this weird division between organized atheism and the people that speak at conferences, and then the YouTubers. And for us, it was like, well, why not bring the YouTubers as speakers to the conferences? And that's when people lost their mind. And it's just bizarre to me. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys going more the entertainment route. If you look at atheism, when I'm talking about atheism, I'm talking about the Dillahunties and the those types, the innovation is lost on them. I had a conversation with Matt Dillahunty at the last American Atheist Conference where they were highlighting Tommy O'Haver. Tommy O'Haver was the director of the movie The Most Hated Woman in America about Madeline Murray O'Hare's life. And it was fantastic. Great movie. I liked it. Tommy's our friend. He invited us there. And all they did was they invited him there to put him on stage with board members that were board members of AA at the time that Madeline Murray O'Hare was. And all they did was they treated him like shit.
They didn't like his director's license.
Absolute shit on stage, and they were just throwing him under the bus. And it was really upsetting for me to see this. And, one of the questions they asked, they said, why didn't you reach out to us before you made this film? And he said, I actually did 5 times, and nobody responded. And then I got into a huge argument. Brian and I got in a huge argument with Dillahunty after it. Said, look, our position was, okay, this movie's on Netflix. That's what the young people are consuming these days. Having a movie about atheism on Netflix is a huge win. And if you see the movie, like, Tommy did a decent job with her. He could have made her look way worse, but he pictured her as like a failed hero, not a failed hero, but kind of like a challenged
troubled hero.
Yeah, a troubled hero. Just kind of, and this is coming from
she's
her
cantankerous. That ladies, she's not nice.
But the point I'm making is, yeah, she was. She was. But she was kind of needed at the time. But the point is the fact that this entire organization had a huge issue with him making a movie about their founder. I mean, they should be proud of that, and they should see utilizing entertainment as far as normalizing atheism. When we talk about normalizing atheism, it's how do you reach the hearts and minds of the normies? I mean,
when their donations spiked.
Yeah, and that's the other funny thing after we found out after they got a shit ton of money after that movie was released on Netflix. But
remember what Dillahunty said to me when we got into this argument with him, and I'm like, well, he goes, well, it 10 doesn't matter because I'm like, he wanted to do, and I'm like, really? So there shouldn't be a murder 1 and murder 2, right? And then he said, no, what I'm saying is this took atheism back to 1996,
which made zero sense.
And I was like, what the fuck happened in 96, man? I got to check this shit out.
Well, and the point is, it's like, if you are going to promote atheism, there's really clever and innovative ways to do it, and it's not this fits.
Tell us.
Yes,
talk.
explain it to us.
Yeah,
'cause
give
we're
us the
lost.
clever and innovative way. Come on. It's
you know
just us here.
You know how you don't do it? You don't have the same conversations at the conferences with the same people with the same PowerPoint presentations that bore people to tears. I mean, you know, one of the things with the conferences, if you look at their attendance, they're way down. I mean, if you saw
that's
even
true.
the Reason Rally itself was way down because people are sick of hearing the same shit.
Or with Thunderfoot, like totally said, don't go.
Well,
you know, come on, let's
well,
be fair. That
well,
that did
okay,
hurt.
okay,
that.
but
You
if
did
you
say
look
that.
at American Friends, if you look at the American Humanist, all the attendance is down because in the West, the new atheists have done such a great job of normalizing atheism, so it's not a controversial topic anymore.
It's not as relevant, right? I mean,
Correct,
think
yeah.
about what started new atheism, right? 9/11. Like, holy shit,
Correct.
is religion relevant? When 2 towers come down, most
Right.
people don't know shit about Islam. Holy fuck, right? Sorry.
Yep. I want to bookmark that because that was a significant event in my history as an atheist, and I think it's something we have in common. And I want to talk about that in just a minute.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but so
put a
then that
bookmark
goes
in
on,
it.
right? And then, well, what does this do, right?
was
I mean,
Dawkins
America comes
came on,
together. There's not much right and left division after 9/11, right?
Right.
Everybody comes together for America and so on and so forth. You get people are scared. You get religious revivalism. Like atheism is hugely relevant at that time, and like I think now it's different. We're past 9/11 quite a bit, and other things are more relevant. So I mean, in Pakistan, it's relevant, right? There's no hardcore ideologic SJWs in Pakistan.
I'm sorry. The way you're saying that.
Pakistan.
And really, the big news is in
I'm sorry,
Argentina,
Nicaragua.
Colombia.
You want me to say it in Thai?
I'm sorry. God damn it. That's my
I'm
big
bad
input.
at comedy, so you can laugh.
That's my big input. It was just cracking me up.
Argentina.
But
Cuba.
but let's look.
That's the next super chat. Is some other.
Yeah, look, I need to read a super chat from Brockus. It said, "Here's money, you dirty booze hookers." Thank you. It's very relevant. Pull out the cart. It's time for shot number 2. Whoever's playing at home, we're actually running a little short. We're gonna kick this up a notch.
Nice.
But the 9/11 thing you brought up, and I think we have this in common, and I'm a little embarrassed by it, but back after it, 9/11 happened, and then a couple years later, the entry to the Iraq War. That's when I had a real split with the George W. Bush administration, and around that time, a documentary came out, and a documentary is kind of an underground documentary, but called Zeitgeist.
Yeah, we've seen that. The Zeitgeist is what inspired us to start Mythicist
Well,
Milwaukee.
part we always have
one.
to clarify part 1 of
Yeah.
Zeitgeist.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
yes, I was about to say. Be
It's
clear.
funny.
Zeitgeist.
Part 1, yeah.
I've never even seen it. Like that is like, you know what it's
Well,
about.
me-
I've never watched.
When me and
Yeah.
Fritz founded the organization, that part 1 of Zeitgeist was actually the thing that inspired us early on.
I think I did watch it.
to do more research into the world of.
No, we did. We watched it once.
Yep.
So I've watched it.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
I think since then it's been recut 4 or 5 times, and they've updated some of the information. Part 1 was really compelling to me from an atheist standpoint. Of course, it then goes on into these other parts, one about the war, I think, and one about the global economy, which was a little anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
But I was on board for the atheists for part 1, and on board for the Iraq war problem. And it was a big fucking influence on me, a huge influence, because really at the time I found it through the internet. The internet, sharing videos on the internet was just starting to become a thing. In the 90s, it was just impossible. Video, you want to download a 20-minute video. I mean, it's going to take you, a week and a half, and just not worth it. And then you sit there and like, God, I hope I can watch this a lot. I hope this time, like, after she gives the hand job, then she punches the horse. But anyway, so you were really careful about what you were downloading. And it was mainly porn. You needed to use your bandwidth wisely.
Yeah, that sounds like
YouTube maxed it out at 10 minutes for a while.
Oh, yeah, even the beginning of YouTube, YouTube came around, what was it, 2004?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but Zeitgeist, I pulled off the internet like 2003, right before YouTube, and me and my roommate watched it, and I was,
Was it
like,
like
man, this is really
LimeWire
compelling.
or?
Yeah, it was something like that. I didn't use LimeWire, but I used the other one that got shut down.
Net or
LimeWire was huge for me.
Napster?
Anyway,
Napster.
Napster.
I was one of those guys, got shut down with that. All right, everybody, shot number 2 for all of you playing the game at home. But
I don't
now,
think this is a game.
oh, it's a game. And there's no winners. And it's all winners.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you look at it.
All 6 of those guys are winners, man.
But anyway, there was some loonies that came out of that, and I've seen you guys get painted with a brush. Look,
Well, that seems to be the situation now. It's like if you're too far, if you're left of me, you're an SJW. If you're right of me, you're alt-right. And it seems like it's gotten to the point where if you do anything that isn't in the frame of what whomever you're talking to at the moment is, you're one sliding scale one way,
Yep.
one sliding scale the other way, and there's nothing you can do.
and to be clear, everybody, out of the two of us, he is the alt-righter.
Yeah, I'm
I am the SJW. Keep it, keep that clear.
And what Zeitgeist Part 1 did is that, yes, there's a lot of misinformation in there. There's a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. But what it was an introductory guide to asking the right questions. And, Fritz and I, when we started MM, that was part of our inspiration. And that inspired me to travel to Egypt and Rome and Greece and Kenya and Rwanda and all these places to kind of do like firsthand research on the topics of religion and the religions of antiquity. And you start to see this golden thread, this pattern that keeps repeating in these stories, and it just, it actually expands your mind and it opens you up to realize, okay, so a lot of this stuff is just supernatural myths, and so that's what the nice thing with Zeitgeist did, and what we tried to do is we actually tried to one up it with Batman and Jesus, and that
which never
conference.
gets talked about, right? They yell Sargon, and then sometimes Armored and Shoe. I had one person say Melissa Chen was all right, but no one talks about the cool movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the Batman you're releasing that soon, but it's kind of like an updated take on Zeitgeist, or more the mythicist position, the accurate version of it.
It's badass.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But so that's where we started, and that was our initial interest. But as you guys, as time goes on, you start getting interested in other things, and especially when you're holding a conference that you're spending, tens of thousands of dollars of your own money on. You want to make it relevant, and people can talk shit about Sargon all you want, but the guy, he was just a gentleman. He was on the entire time. He was nice to everyone. He had a guy try to fight him, and he still didn't act out. I mean, like, we had to remove. It was a lefty that we had to remove with the police.
That's right, a
There's a guy who
lefty.
hated Sargon,
Yeah,
right? I don't want to like.
There's a guy.
Yeah,
It's some guy
There's
that
a guy. You can find it on YouTube, everyone.
that came there,
Yeah.
wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Well, look, he just got checked by Antifa too. So I mean, he's used to being bum rushed is kind of his thing.
Yeah, well, clarify your shit.
Yeah.
Stop saying you're a liberal, and then I'm sorry. Look, I'll talk to Sargon. I tried to get into this last year at VidCon with him, but we were at
drinking
Blair
and
White's party,
Yeah,
and everybody's trying to have a good time, and I'm like, "Hey, Sargon, quit saying you're a freaking liberal when you're fucking." And then Pat's like, "Get away from him."
That was me holding Sargon.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, when we have, Armored and Shoe and Melissa Chen and Ron Miscavige, I mean, we were taking on the Church of Scientology. We were taking on Islam in our debate with Asra and Faisal. I mean,
I was more afraid of Scientology than the SJW.
That's actually where I'm looking forward to Miss Savage. I want to see. I'm so fascinated with Scientology right now. It's actually the direction I want to do.
You
a
do
video
watch
about.
a lot of Scientology
A lot.
stuff,
I
like
look
with
up-
all the reality TV shows.
Well, no,
the whole
that's what kickstarted, because for a long time I just kind of excused it. Actually,
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard of Scientology, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a joke of scientists making a religion, and that's what I thought the joke was. And then I realized, oh no, this is a crazy cult.
Well, see, I was a big L. Ron Hubbard fan from the '80s. I loved that decology he wrote. His science fiction was top fucking shelf.
Dianetics?
Now,
you can-
Dianetics came along at the end of the '80s, and the thing is, if you read his decology, which is a 10-book series, a science fiction series, and it's fucking hilarious. It came out after Battlefield Earth. Really fucking hilarious. The comedy in there is so good, and he's really going in and hinting at things that end up being in Dianetics.
Oh, yeah.
And when Dianetics came out, I bought it and read it as like, oh, here he goes again, dude.
So
this
silly.
guy is so meta, dude. He is now the story is the fucking comic religion from the fucking sci-fi series. Wait, what? And so, you know what the thing is, though? I flew to L.A. and went to the Church of Scientology on was it Hollywood? Not Hollywood. Is it Hollywood Boulevard? It's right. It's right by.
They let you in, or is it the one right
You
on?
can walk in there.
Is
to
it
the
right on
library.
Rodeo Drive?
Would those glasses fuck up the e-meter?
You know what?
Yes, they get
My
weird
Thetan
ratings.
level was hard to pin down, but I went through the whole thing. I did go and join.
did?
Yeah, I went through all their
Wow,
tests. I
this
got my
is-
Thetans monitored.
Really?
Yeah, and it was right across from on the same street as Man's Chinese Theater.
Nice.
Oh,
Chinese theater. Yep.
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
okay, I know what you're talking
That's the one I went to.
Right with the star, with the
Did you
stars
give
of
him-
fame,
did you
the
give
sidewalk. Yeah.
Did you give him any personal information?
I told them everything.
Oh.
I still get all the you lived here. You never saw the Church of Scientology mail I get? I get a shit ton of it.
I'm sure you do, dude.
Well, because I didn't sign you up for random things, so I thought
Yeah.
maybe it was one of the things I
No,
signed
I
you up
signed
for.
me up for that, dude. I thought it was good. I was like,
That
this
was
is.
our
I'm like,
practical
what a fucking hilarious joke.
Oh man.
You wanted to be
Ben
in
did.
this is memes before memes, dude.
I thought.
I went into a local Scientology, spot here in Milwaukee as well. We sat down, watched the video, got a couple DVDs, and then I ran out.
Oh no, you should have taken the test. You learn a lot about yourself, and you don't even know what your Thetan level is, do you?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, all right, and yep. Then, you know what? Then you don't know.
Why don't you say
I
that
don't
you're
have
the
enough money to
real?
know.
Go in there, say you're the real Tom Cruise, and that motherfucker stole my
No.
life.
The
put down a
best,
crazy
the
story.
best thing is you sign a billion-year contract in the Sea Org, and the idea is you're supposed to come back as multiple lives to serve Scientology. I've asked many ex-Scientologists and Scientologists on air or whatever, and I've said, when is L. Ron Hubbard coming back? Like that would be the one, right? Like when is he gonna show up?
Yeah, doesn't he have to fill out some of that billion years
But that's the thing. I am not certain
that you aren't signed
that
up?
he didn't die with the joke.
Like he's the better than Andy Kaufman kind of a guy?
Yes, I believe. And
No.
and the thing is, if you read his science fiction and read the comedy and the way he poked at religion and like had these, he invented these crazy alien religions and shit, and then you read fucking Dianetics, you're like, man, bravo, dude. This joke is the best thing he's ever done. This is bigger than Andy Kaufman. And the thing is, he kicked the fucking bucket before he got to do the big reveal where it's
Wait.
like, ha, you idiots
Wait.
will believe anything.
What if Geraldo Rivera has like finds his tomb
I'm hoping it exists. That L. Ron Hubbard's tomb.
and it opens up and this time I actually got something in it. It just says, "It was a joke, motherfucker."
yeah, just a note that says, ha ha,
got him.
got him.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, again, I mean, if you look at MythCon IV, I mean, all of this conversation is coming in from just one of the speakers, and we were so diverse with that last conference as well. I mean, we even had the Buzz Belief debate between Asha Nomani and Faisal Saeed with Matt Dillahunty. I mean, again,
I know we're white supremacists that forgot to
and
put
again,
up white
that's,
guys.
That's the thing, and we're being considered alt-right, just because we brought Sargon and
No.
Shu and
bad white supremacists.
Armor. It's
No.
I thought we were very fair with the diversity that we brought in.
Now, I look, originally, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong from MythCon 4, but well before MythCon 4, I seem to remember a young gentleman with very juicy lips named Steve Shives. Like he came on did a live stream, was talking about how he was organizing a panel. Do I have this wrong?
Oh yeah, that's
No.
not our conference. That was
That was a conference that never happened.
TAC.
That was.
Should I have said it?
We-
Should I have said
We
it?
ran into some folks when we were at the American Atheist Con, like in August or so, and they were the organizers of this, and they were going to have this upcoming summer. It would have been in a couple months here, and yeah, they had said, "Hey man, we were like hanging out with Steve Shives," and I was like, I was like, dude, what's he really like? That's what I wanted to know. And they said that they got drunk and all this fun stuff. And I don't know. They said what they said secondhand. But Steve Shives was going to go to that con, but never happened.
I wonder if Steve Shives.
You're right. You're right. Actually, that con shit the bed. But I remember him being super pissed off about the MythCon IV.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, that's
I've never seen a rant.
And I'm conflating two different stories of his ridiculousness.
Yeah, I remember him go. Yeah, I remember very clearly him. Basically, it was almost
MythCon, what are we gonna do about it?
It's just it just became this thing.
MythCon, what are we gonna do about it? Yeah.
That was the thing. Listening to all the detractors from it was like whining, and primarily I guess just because of Sargon. It's like, okay, so Sargon entering the States at all, you're pissed off about. Him getting a platform, you're pissed off about. Like, there's nothing else. So all they could do was just piss and moan and then call the entire conference some misogyny conference. It's a concert.
He already had a platform. All we did was brought him in person. But that was the big issue.
I'm so sick of
the fact that he came as a person. He already has a ginormous platform.
I'm so sick of hearing this shit. Like, we're giving these guys platforms. Are you fucking kidding? I mean, these guys put up live streams. They talk to tens and hundreds of thousands of people. It's like we're bringing them to the Pabst that has 1,300.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like if you really have a problem with Sargon, this gives you your opportunity to sit in front of him, which is what we kind of thought with last VidCon, and I think Sargon as well, because he was going to go to the Anita Sarkeesian panel. And he was going to sit in.
And we did go to that.
And can basically sit to somebody he disagrees with. And he was going to have his points, and he was going to listen to what she was going to say. And, maybe ask a question until after that whole run-in with Anita. And then all of a sudden, no more questions were allowed to be asked of the panel.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
You guys had all decided that nobody was going to ask questions. They were going to sit. They were going to sit in the front row, but no one was going to ask questions.
Well, that was that one group. And let me tell you, like, we were with them before this, but we made no promises, and our friend Joey Salads, he made no fucking promises.
Yeah, he didn't make promises at all. Like, he wouldn't.
No, he wanted to confront them, and I love Joey Salads. I love making fun of Joey Salads because he's a bit of a law cow, and
the guy that snuck somebody into an Antifa rally. I thought, went undercover in Antifa.
What a shitbag! Look, he fakes a lot of shit to slander the left, and like that time when he faked leaving that car out, and then a bunch of black guys came up and beat it up because he wrote Trump. Had Trump stickers on it, and he parked it in the ghetto, and they came and destroyed it, and then it turns out somebody was filming from another building, the whole setup, and it was just like Joey's very in this right-wing beliefs, I mean, he has no fucking middle ground. But the thing is, I do love Joey because
he's really
Joey.
He's
Joey Salads.
Your politics suck. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, his politics do suck.
Yeah, look, I've had plenty of friends that I don't agree with their politics, but also still chat with them.
I'm one. He still talks to me.
But we're actually more in the middle. Well,
we've been pushed. We've been pushed to the middle, and we weren't. We just used to disagree on everything.
Yeah.
Until like everybody on the fucking left or the far left happened, the right left shit the bed, and the far right shit the bed, and then me and you were both like, I guess we're not.
Yeah, let me start my own group.
And that's what's happened to a lot of people. I mean, when it comes to liberals, I've always been, I guess a little bit leftist, but the left has gone so far to the left. It's like, where am I in this spectrum now? Am I now closer to the right than the left?
Well, that's the Overton window, I think, really.
I've got the soundboard, dude. I get to do what I want.
I don't like that you have the soundboard. I should have the soundboard, but yes, it's that viewpoint when you look at the Overton window, you're always standing as one little part. Then yes, the left looks super left, and the right looks super right. But if you look at the whole spectrum, you've just got these outliers.
That like 35% of people on the left are fucking nuts. 35 or of all people that are on the left are nuts. 35% of everyone who are on the right, they're fucking nuts. And you're left with this sliver
of 30% in the middle.
Yeah, 30% in the middle.
I think everyone's crazy.
According to that Pew study, right? Ever since '94, right? And they what they say is that Gingrich like fucked everything up, like in '94 by.
Dude, hey,
I'm a
actually,
Georgia boy.
we are sitting in Newt Gingrich's district right now.
Yeah.
We elected him right here.
I love Newt.
Hey, Newt, move base now.
The theory, like Jonathan Haidt and those guys, that they'll say that Congress, you used to have to live there. You know, so now your kids were going to like school with kids that, you know, from across the aisle, your wives were hanging out, all of that, or your husbands, whatever.
Look,
like,
and I'm sorry.
And then now we don't have to do that. So they're saying there's less friendships across the aisle.
Look, I got a super chat from Chaos Eve who makes a very good point that I think is very relevant to this whole discussion. And the super chat is only 2 shots in 30 minutes. You can do better. That is very correct. I couldn't agree with that more.
Problem.
So for those of you playing at home, it is time for shot number 3. We are overdue, and we're gonna have to kick up the pace. This rational discourse is starting to irritate people. I can tell it.
But take the opposite. Let me play like Fat Pat for a second and take the contrarian view. I mean, you could be on the left and say, dude, what the hell happened to the right? You know, well, what's going on? You know,
I say that all the time.
You know, vote for Donald Trump. You know, you've got the alt-right out there. You know, you've got people like Mike Cernovich. You don't know where exactly he lands. You got the Proud Boys. Where are they? You know, people are like, what's going on? Did the Tea Party just morph and mutate into this insane part and like came out with Trump? Like, so you can make the same argument.
Oh,
right?
I make it all the time.
I think it's fear. Like, if you're on the left, you are seriously wigging out about what's going on the right because you know less about them.
That's right.
You know, so it seems more ominous. And it's the same way if you're on the right, you look over the left, you're like, holy shit, what's going on over there? And the people on the left not fearing it as much because, yeah, they know it a little bit more.
Yeah, and
like,
then we fearmonger about the other side. But to be honest, the right is worse. I mean, just to be fair. I'm just trying to be fair.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you want the right to be able to say that?
You know,
you want freedom to say that, right? Fuck the left.
No, I'll always have the freedom to say that the right says.
And what's the left? You know, SJWs aren't liberal. Like if you're a hardcore, you know, if you're the authoritarian SJW, you're not a liberal.
Let me ask
so
you.
Labels suck.
Let me ask you two outsiders. When you look at our conference, MythCon V, what do you think about the spectrum of conversations that we're bringing to this year?
I'm more excited, actually, this year than because last year when I was catching up on what was going on and how the conference was working. This year I see there's many more colors in this homo rainbow, and that we are going to be able. Like that was the thing is I saw there was really a lot of people from all over this spectrum from different points of view. Whether it was political, social, religion.
The YouTube representation, however, like I think there are more. Hold on, let's all right. Shot number 3, everybody. We're gonna do shot number 4 in just a few minutes, so be prepared.
But yeah, I think that the spectrum. Also, I think because all of our friends are gonna be there.
Yeah, of course, all of our friends are going to be there, but I know a lot of our friends lean right. And one thing, I mean, you know, I would like to see more left YouTubers, even though I understand that's difficult for you guys to fucking get, because a lot of them get to be very like, I'm not going to play in your ball pit.
It seems like the far left marching orders are to...
Marching orders?
Oh, that's the way I see it. The far left marching orders is that you don't even interact. Well, I think Vadim's gonna be there, and Vadim's left.
I am looking, Vadim, and I like Vadim.
Like I like Vadim, and he says a lot of left stuff that sometimes gets a little too left. I'm like, all right, calm down, kitty cat. This cat's got claws.
So I got to give it to Vadim because you know he expressed
he's gonna show up.
He wanted to talk to us personally, and absolutely we wanted to talk to him, and then you know he wants to make sure that people aren't inviting him to be like, I don't know, like ambushed.
Yeah,
that's totally fair. That's absolutely fair. And then we came to that. We're really glad to have him.
Well, one thing that
he's also never backed away from a fight. So like
he certainly does. You can say a lot of things about Vadim, but pussy, ironically,
doesn't fit.
Is not one of the things that fits. That's correct.
I think
I get the irony. It took me.
What we want to continue to maintain and present as an organization is professionalism, and we're only going to be able to grow and bring people and trust us if we maintain that professionalism.
Right. But and the challenge was when you're a conference organizer, just getting people to commit because of schedules and things like that is always a challenge. But in this case, the left versus right and all that bullshit. See, I'm not political at all. Like, my whole focus is let's put on a good show and make people happy. I don't really care about left or right or any of that shit. But
He really doesn't.
The lefty people didn't answer. Not only were they not responding to the emails I was sending out, they were taking my private emails and writing blog posts about them.
Yeah, I saw some of that, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and on behalf of my people.
Yeah.
Well,
Muslims don't need to apologize for 9/11.
Well,
you know what?
But I think this is more of a generational issue. See, I grew up in the 90s, and all these guys here grew up in the 90s. And when we didn't agree with something, we'd fucking challenge it. We had Nirvana, we had Nirvana telling us, we had Rage Against the Machine, we had all this shit.
He's a big
where
Rage
we'd
fan.
get out and actually call to arms, if we don't fucking agree with something. So today, though, it seems like, just because we're putting people on stage, oh my God, shock, horror. Oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. This is nerd shit. Like coming up for, like in Chicago, if we saw people on stage, we'd be like, oh, they're fucking talking on stage. Who gives a shit? The outrage that's coming, it just, to me, makes zero fucking sense. Like, it's so weird,
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God,
it's something I'd like to work on to help you guys out, actually, because one thing I do maintain conversations with I think I'm able to talk to everyone in the skeptic community, which is more of a atheist pundit community, and even goes a little bit beyond that. I think I'm able to keep a lot of conversations open with people on both sides, except for
here's the thing
Andy
is
Worski
that
and
you're on
Anonymous Cognitive Thought.
You're sitting on the left side of the fence, but you're not so far left that you can't have a discussion with you. And
Shut up.
And you're not so far left that you refuse any conversation with, because you and Andy have had a back and forth in the last several months, but like, even though you never agreed with Andy even back in the day, and we were still buddies with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Never had a problem with it. So it wasn't like you just refused to talk to the right. So you'll be at MythCon, and
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Anybody wants to come punch Fane in the neck, go for it.
Yeah, this is your chance.
It's just a conversation. Like, that's the thing that drives me
You ain't
nuts.
seen how I conversate.
Yeah.
Headbutts.
Hey, is there a fucking like a bar at the
What's that?
Pabst Theater? Are they going to be
It's
serving?
called the Pabst Theater.
There's multiple bars.
All right. Hey,
Tall,
everybody.
tall boys for everybody.
Everybody be looking in the afternoon. Be looking toward the back of the auditorium.
Yeah.
When I start fucking throwing bows.
There's even debate tables too that are set up.
For sure,
you may not want to go to every single talk, right? So we have debate tables set up for
there's gonna be like
actual real issues or bullshit issues, just to practice talking to people on the other side.
Well, I guess the biggest disappointment again for me is the atheist community. I mean, what happened to wanting to show up to debate whatever you don't agree in? I mean, when Dawkins was doing his thing, when Harris was doing his thing back in the day, the Four Horsemen, I mean, that was like, people love that. Hitchens, like, the whole thing was, and that's what Sargon kind of reminds me a lot of, actually, is Hitchens. When he gets on stage, people just love listening. They love listening to him have a discussion.
Well, there's one difference
with people.
There's one big difference, and that's Hitchens could debate.
Well,
Sargon can't fucking debate.
I don't know if you saw what happened at MythCon IV.
But I did see what happened at MythCon IV, and actually that was a little derailed and off topic.
Hitchens isn't a class by himself.
Exactly,
but Sargon's getting better.
Was a genius.
But yeah, of course. I'm not saying it's like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Okay, I mean, like, there's similarities.
It's like Michael Jordan and then that white dude that plays on the bench for the fucking Jazz.
But
John Stockton.
Hey, John,
We do have a question. We do have a question from the
John
Stockton was pretty good.
But the point I'm making is, it's like, people used to be engaged in these types of conversations, and we're not seeing it. And it's so weird, especially in the atheist world. And hopefully we can change that and inspire people to not be so worried about conversations.
I agree. I definitely feel let down by the atheist community in many ways, for sure.
And this is where I hate labels. Like, again, there's certain people. I get the motivation. It's fear and so on and so forth. So I guess I would.
But what are you afraid of? Like, I don't get it. What are you so scared of?
I don't know, when something bangs your house in the middle of the night.
Okay, that's different. That's not a conversation.
But you
on
know it's
stage.
probably a fucking tree. Why do you think it's like 4 robbers trying to like steal your TV that's from 1995? You know, like
So Robert's
seriously,
trying to steal our
like,
TV.
it's weird. I don't know.
That would make me upset.
You know what I
Robert's
mean?
scary. He's scary. He's
That's the thing.
legitimately scary.
Trying to empathize. I don't think that it's right. I think that people are weird. That you've been friends with somebody for so long, and then you never talked about politics, and then you're like, holy shit, how could they think differently than me? And you think, was I had? And then you start to you may politics becomes like a proxy war for that person's character.
Yeah, I had
Like that's what sucks. And then you're like, man, maybe I don't even know you.
But it's
I
like,
don't
oh,
think we should go there.
But
I
it's like,
agree.
oh my god, he disagrees with me. Oh, I hate him now. Like,
Well,
what?
here's
I know
here's
we
the thing.
got to get away from that.
Well,
But that
we
is
do
a
have to
normal
get
human
away from it.
reaction.
We do have to get away from it, and I do remember coming from college in Madison, coming home with one of my good friends.
Uh-oh.
For like growing
Where's
up,
this going?
the conversation went to abortion, and from the bus ride from Madison to Milwaukee, 10 years of friendship, we've spoken twice on Facebook.
Wow, because of abortion.
Because of a conversation.
Wow.
So again, I mean, it happens. Some people are just turned off completely by just different viewpoints.
It's weird.
All right, I asked the chat if they had any questions, and that was a bad idea. This is the wrong show. This is
Bigger iPad. I can barely read it.
SDA asked, is it ethical to spay the Jews?
Oh boy. Stop reading questions from the chat.
It's not even a super chat.
It's not even a super
If
chat.
I've learned
You just-
anything from Andy Worski, it's you always
You only read
Random
racist.
alt-writer, Popson.
Yeah. 1488 says,
Another question. Why do y'all still seem sober? That's a good question.
you know what? Let's go for number 4. It's number 4, right? I'll do it. You handle this.
Ginny Kiss, a.k.a. Ginny McDermott.
Hey, Jenny.
She just asked, ooh, pick me. What's your favorite myth, Sophane? Do you have a favorite myth?
A favorite myth. Hold on, let me think about that while I pour a drink. I'll come back to that.
Will there be a UK MythCon in the future?
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things. Like if we can get sponsors to fund it, absolutely. Like we'll definitely help put it together. I'm
It's
sure.
like University of Kentucky or like England.
Yeah,
It would be fantastic.
yeah. I mean, as long as we have the funds and someone can come up.
Yeah,
with that.
you can go have a MythCon down at the Lions Den at University of Kentucky.
I mean, definitely. I mean, if this could be something
For sure, why
where
not?
we could tour, that would be a dream, and that would be fantastic. I'm proud of the fact that we're able to bring this to Milwaukee, which is such a religious city. But this never existed, and last year with MythCon, and I'm going to say it again. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but last year we still consider our conference a secular conference, and we still had the largest secular conference in all of North America. The only reason I don't say the world is just because I don't have all the facts, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the world.
Well, Australia canceled.
For sure.
They
For
broke
sure,
down.
it's at least North America.
Yeah.
This kind of thing doesn't have a lot of. There was a lot of people there. It was pretty cool.
Well,
It
it's
was
funny. Like
really
one of the criticisms I hear, which is so hypocritical, it's Armored and Shu and Sargon. They, like you guys just say, they don't know how to debate. They don't know how to do this, that. It's like, wait a minute. If they never get the chance, how would they ever get better? And Melissa Chen, it was her first time. Ron Miscavige is really his first time on a major stage. I mean, this is. This is what these events are supposed to be, is to offer practice for people that want to do this. And, I'm extremely honored that all of them stuck by us. Everyone talks about how we stuck it out with the criticisms. I'm just super happy that
The attendees stuck it out too.
on the attendees too, and the speakers.
Because
Like
that was actually another question. Is roaming still coming?
oh yeah, for sure. She's
As a
super
special
excited.
guest.
Special guest.
So
She's not-
So she's just ranked.
She's
ranked like us.
She's gonna sit over by us.
that's
Well, she
what's-
has to sit by us too.
she's not even in speaking.
Who's
this
she
year.
gonna sit closer to though, politically?
We'll make sure she speaks next year though.
Yeah, she's gonna want to talk
She
to
won't
him,
have
but
to
she's
sit-
gonna want to make out with me.
She won't have to sit close to you. Of course,
No,
I don't think Greg won't like that.
Yeah, her boyfriend will be there.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
All right. All right, look,
He likes us.
let's
right?
read a couple super chats, and I
you
want to
guys.
address Jenny Kiss, who has had another question here. Is for $2 says, "Will Jesus ever take the wheel, Sophane?" Jesus took the wheel and wrecked the fuck out of this thing. That's kind of why I'm here, and also that leads.
That's a tweet, right? Like there's a crash car
Like the
that
car,
says
like
Jesus is
isn't-
my co-pilot.
It's like
Yeah.
the 80 Corvette. or the
Yeah.
90.
And the thing is,
Who knew Jesus can't drive
example. Come on, guy. I got one example, and that's something that people sometimes ask us when we have our cameras set right. Is like, how do you get your teeth so white? And let me tell you, we got rid
bubbles
of God's terrible fucking dentistry, and replaced it with man-made porcelain beauty that you only have to hit with soft scrub like once every 6 fucking weeks.
Because they do the scrubbing, so you don't have to.
Yeah, and that's part of the look. I let God. When I was young, I was a very devout Catholic. While I was at Catholic school, I started asking questions about Genesis 1.
Wow, you from Jump Street. You're like,
At the beginning of the book, I started having questions. So I'm like,
Cain
okay,
goes up.
Where did Cain get his wife? Why have we not heard of the land of Nod? And how come like now we kill people for killing people, but Cain killed his brother and he goes off and gets some free pussy?
This rule.
It's gonna take a day to watch Lawrence of Arabia with you.
I had something similar. I've been an atheist since I was 6 or 7, because that was around the same time I found out that there wasn't a Santa Claus, which then the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy followed right behind suit, not being real. And so as far as I thought, it was like, okay, those are all make-em-ups, all these crazy powers and these beings. Then at that point, you do actually throw baby Jesus out with the bathwater. Like, you get rid of all the bullshit.
I did the exact same thing.
Because I thought that's what, because once I was like, oh wait, because I was like, that would be a weird conversation. My dad's an atheist, so it made it very easy to talk about. But it was like,
my parents are not.
I was like, when I found out that Santa wasn't real, I was like, oh. And then it was like about 30 minutes later, I came back going, but what about the Easter Bunny? They're like, no, not real. But we made it up. Tooth Fairy, we made it up. I was like, Jesus? He goes, we made it up, but I feel like that's a different question. And it was one of those like, how does other families do it that are religious? When you get
mine are very religious, and when I go home for Christmas, I go to fucking midnight mass. They do not know I do this.
But you still believe in Santa Claus?
Oh shit!
If that's what my mommy wants.
Well, it's because Jesus is seen as a historical figure, so I mean that's the thing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're in a religious family and everyone is saying that there's no Santa Claus, there's no Easter, at some point you obviously find out. How do they still stand on? Oh no, those are all fake. But this guy, he's the real deal, and he died for your sins. However, that pays out. I don't get that.
Well, all these people are like spending all this time to go to church, right? I mean, so that I didn't make the leap. I'm like, well, the adults know what they're doing, right? So we wouldn't do all these things and go to church every week.
If it wasn't real.
Not real, right? And then the adults can just pay it up to the elders and so on and so forth.
Well, that's how when I started having those issues, like when I was a kid, and I thought this adult was stupid, but I figured I must be projecting my retardation onto this adult, and that I'm clearly just don't understand.
Yeah, you just don't get it.
I just don't get it, and they get it, so I follow suit because obviously they must know what's right. I think what they're saying is stupid, but so then fuck it, I'm an atheist.
Yeah, but there's a lot of this. Look, and Jenny had another thing, and I want to, because she had asked what my favorite myth is, and right now my favorite myth is that soy causes liberals. That's my favorite myth right now.
That's awesome.
And soy messes with your sperm count, bro.
That's my favorite, and also that Jenny McDermott wasn't fucking critical and very necessary to the YouTube evolution of atheist channels. And me and Pat were talking about this.
We miss Jenny.
We miss Jenny. We miss old school Jenny videos, like
good and crazy.
Like tape over nipples and fucking or
like
in a costume laughing at fucking Thunderfoot's dad dying. That we miss you. We miss Jenny McDermott.
That's when a lot of people ask like why we don't do atheist videos anymore. I'm like, well, Jenny's not giving us the good anymore.
No, and the thing is, you can't really fucking jump on the other side of her or try to over the top her.
You can't out crazy. She does it so good.
She's great.
She's a showman.
The Chris Reagan and Lacey Green skit you had, I thought that was awesome, and everybody on all sides of the aisle played their part.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Is like because Christy.
Yeah, actually, they were. Jenny was in that, and she was very fucking cool.
We didn't think we were going to get Jenny for that, but
no, she was the big get in my opinion. Like I thought Christy would be the easier get.
The last information we had from Jenny, the last transmission from Jenny was, I fucking hate your guts.
Yeah, that was a good. I commented on one of her videos, and I was a little snarky, even though generally I tried to comment Anyway. But yeah, so she was a little snarky, and I was like, this may not work, because one time she said she fucking hated my guts.
Yeah.
Well, like Kim Jong-il, like always threatens nuclear war, and when you threaten it all the time, you got to threaten double secret nuclear war to actually mean something. So maybe that means
Yeah, and now look at him and the fucking president of South Korea were like photographed holding hands.
Yeah, giving crisp high fives and walking hand in hand together.
Jenny, come on! I know you live near VidCon. Come down and fucking get a picture of me and you, Kim Jong-uning, and fucking. What's the president of South Korea? I can't remember his name. Is it Moon?
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have. Yes, Moon, but he doesn't have the publicist that Kim Jong has. Like,
yeah, come on, Jenny. Come on
Or the
down to
golf-
VidCon and see us in
I'll give
June.
you a Kim Jong story. Kim Jong actually pissed me off. Let me tell you how personally. I was in Beijing when he made his visit to Beijing, and he slowed down traffic. I was really pissed off because I was 30 minutes late to my dinner.
Look. I live right next to.
That was the shot, everybody. If you're trying to keep up.
I live right next to Dobbins Airport, so every time a president comes in, first off, I can hear their plane come right over my house.
Yeah.
And
Air Force One. Yeah, you
and
are
the-
right in the
yeah.
landing fucking zone.
Because all the other planes, they're these small military planes. They don't really, they're not that bad.
Or the C-5As.
Yeah, they're all these little prop, C-130s and shit. They're just flying. You don't really hear them. But when when Air Force One comes in, you fucking hear it. It's a loud fucking plane.
Yeah, it's the hugest airplane. It's the very best.
And every time you hear it come over my house, and then traffic stops at my house and everything around it.
No.
So I have beef with all American presidents.
And they're there, dude. It sucks. You're gonna miss like the first half.
Yo, yeah, look, the national championship this year,
Yeah.
which is in Atlanta and has the Georgia Bulldogs in it, and the day before, President Trump says, "I'm gonna go to the fucking game."
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. And then
Holy
messed up.
fuck! You shit on the city for a month.
No, it really because
Some people died in their cars.
yeah, right when he came in, I heard the plane come in. Then I started hearing and like about 20 minutes later, I heard all the sirens because all the cop cars, and I heard them going down the street. I'm like, seriously, dude?
Seriously, dude, you don't just wing it. You don't just like, I want to go to the national
If
championship
you're
the day
president,
before.
give me a break. If you were
Once in
president
Atlanta and the Georgia fucking Bulldogs are playing, outrageous.
against Bama,
Outrageous. I'm sorry.
let's turn into a sports talk. Everybody.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sports Radio. It's me, Zilvain.
And the Pat.
All right.
We're gonna talk about the Masters at
That was
Augusta.
a thing.
I want those like golf and interesting. Ooh, what an egregious putt.
Yeah, Brian watches golf.
Egregious.
I stopped watching golf once Tiger Woods stopped doing anything.
I've never watched golf.
Well, he's back.
He's back, and
Sort
I'll
of.
watch.
Is he in the
Then I'll watch
senior-
when he's in, and
Is
then
he in the senior league?
No,
or
he's
whatever
like
now?
he's been in the top 10 in like a few tournaments.
In the
Yeah.
senior.
He's
Regular.
He plays,
At
he
the
plays,
at the Masters.
he plays down the list in the Masters, but he did better than Mickelson by like 2.
he did
Vegas
better than Mixon. That's all that matters. He did better than Drunky McFuckstick.
at the
I
Masters.
didn't say John Daly.
Because people bet on him because he's the actual.
Right, but they had him as a favorite
Yeah,
for
'cause-
at Vegas.
They
But
did.
all they care about is the money.
People.
Yeah, but not
people
because
had
they
him
thought
as
he
a
would win.
favorite.
Like,
But because of the betting,
betting.
you're right.
all about there's teams that get bet on more. Like Notre Dame is the odds on Notre Dame are never correct because everyone bets them. Same with Tiger. Sorry, that was bookie 101 there.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right.
All right, everybody. Anyway, I like to go to Vegas sometimes, and when I'm there, like people in my age bracket, I like to play Keno. Do you have any tips for me?
Shit. I mean, that's really like I'm a poser. That's everything I know about betting.
Keno!
Other question we have from Artemis Brain Sample says, can dogs talk? They can communicate.
Well, I think we have what was that? Who made that documentary? What was her name?
Big dog.
No, they don't have a language center.
I can't remember her name. We also had her in our Christmas video because she sang that song about Jesus while she was wearing her cheerleading suit and dancing around on Hollywood Boulevard.
Trisha Paytas.
Trisha Paytas, probably one of the best Christians on YouTube.
She poed that. That was a poe.
She is a Christian, dude.
Dude, can dogs think?
Okay,
Dogs
now
have
the
brains?
Can Dogs talk video. I think she was being a Poe, and she sat down that afternoon and like had a good camera angle where
her
her tits
boobies?
like gigantic, and you don't realize how overweight she is. And so, not that that's bad. It's fine, everybody. I'm not body shaming
Wow. Wow. You got a problem with the
you.
thicks?
Here, show the guests. Show the guests.
Yeah. That's the face.
They're the problem.
So, yes, Trisha Paytas.
Trisha Paytas. Do you guys know Trisha Paytas?
No.
Oh, she's batshit and crazy.
Oh man, look! Look, I know that at least one of you spends too much time on YouTube.
Yeah, that'd be.
Go look, search YouTube for Trisha Paytas. Look, she's a big channel.
Or
and,
you can go to Poison the Well and look at our Trisha Paytas videos.
Yeah, we have a couple. But anyway, you will enjoy Trisha Paytas, and she's a huge Christian and likes to make these fucking hilarious, cringy songs about the baby Jesus.
I have seen this. Yes, Jacqueline Glenn had her on.
Oh yes, Jacqueline Glenn. Yes, as I didn't even know you knew
As
my
you know.
girlfriend.
She's like, way too
yeah,
often.
your girlfriend.
Your girlfriend who ignores us ever since bedtime.
She was cool.
After
one
that
time.
Playboy shoot, she had dinner with me.
Oh man, super mad.
That was hilarious.
We were
Like,
cool once.
Have you seen her like Christian phone sex and Muslim phone sex videos?
I have
I
not
thought
seen
that
those.
was the best YouTube. Like,
Am I not a super fan? Let me write that down.
You have to check that out.
I honestly can make it about 5 minutes into her video. Before
Like
I'm
in the
"Nah."
Muslim phone sex video, she's like, "Are you jihad right now?" It's like the best.
All right, so she wrote out a bunch of really good punchlines or had her friends doctor something like that. This was really good.
He's like, "Where
Are you bagging on my girl?
Yeah.
the only explosion is in your pants."
I've always
Eat out at my a la snack bar. I'm gonna ghostwrite for her.
I'm making aloha.
What?
Aloha snack bar.
Aloha snack bar.
Don't worry, I'll help you write, just like I always do.
When the fuck have you helped me write?
All right, hold on. KS Eve had his other $2 super chat that says, "Why do atheists refuse? I love the spelling in it. Refuse to debate Ray Comforts."
That's not true.
Aaron Ra debated him.
And
That
so did
guy's-
Thunderfoot.
He's
And Thunderfoot
over
did too.
debated. The guy's irrelevant.
I love Ray. In fact, all the MythCon
Chaos is trolling us. I'm sorry. Nobody fucking wonders that.
all the MythCon press that has gone out and it has our pictures. It's you drinking booze and me screaming with a banana.
Which was a Ray Comfort thing.
Yeah, that was me mocking Ray Comfort for it Smells Like E Minor video. It was the other guy's video. I have no clue where y'all got that picture because
it was very obscure.
Everyone looks so serious that you got the banana.
It's so funny.
and yeah, so many people have been commenting. I see the comment like, "What's the guy in the banana screaming?"
I picked the picture personally. It was amazing.
I don't know how you found the picture.
I love it, but what I love is like on their website, if you go to the website and scroll down the bottom, you see a picture of me and you. It's you with the banana, and then old pre-spike me sitting beside you with fucking like
much gap.
forehead gap. Like that, looking like a fucking retard.
I have not noticed that at all. That's funny. I can switch that one. But the banana one's staying.
That was pre-spike me.
But yeah, I'm making a point though about banana ridges in my hand.
Oh, I love it.
But even like the Ray Comfort fans, like not all of them are the same. I debated. I've spent most of the Reason Rally like talking to the Christian protesters, and like we're debating all about God, and then somehow church and state came up, and she goes, "Well, I believe in separation of church and state." Debate over. That's enough common ground. I mean, like I don't need anymore.
Right.
And they were absolutely reasonable.
Yeah.
But and it's funny. Some of the guys with the signs, I expected them to be hardcore, and I'm like, "You're Westboro Baptist, right?" He goes, "Dude, no,
Yeah.
we hate
Well,
those
and
guys."
that's one of
Like,
the
you just don't
And
know.
fags.
Well, that's with the atheist movement in the U.S. I mean, they really could do a lot better for humanity if they'd focus on Kenya and Saudi Arabia and Egypt. I remember when I was in Egypt, one of the guides was like, "Oh my God, there's 2,000 atheists in Egypt. This is a disgrace." And it's like millions and millions of people that live in Cairo alone. And it's like, man, that's nothing. And so it's weird like how the atheists, even the conference atheists, have focused this weird tension on social justice issues. Like it's this whole weird thing instead of like actually talking about atheism. So we get pegged for not talking about atheism. Yet if you look at any of the other conferences, it's all pro weird, extremist social justice left crap.
If
And
you-
it's like, what is this about atheism? It doesn't
Yeah,
make
like,
any
and
sense
the
anymore.
problem is like, and it's varied. But if your progressive stack includes Islam, you're not going to be able to like talk about atheism in a sensible way. Like, if,
Yeah, it's a good
you
point.
know, that's
Blind
an
spot.
issue, and atheists are
And that really
disagreed on
becomes
that.
the blind spot. for
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When it comes to women's rights, but what do you want to do? You want to support the religion for their views and their culture, or do you want to support the women's rights, which are being oppressed?
Right.
by-
Well, in the United States, Islam presents as this cringing minority that needs help, or at least needs the protection that a minority would need.
Mhm.
But then globally, it's this huge power that's in control of several states. Is very wealthy. So what is Islam? Is it the oppressor or the oppressed? Well, I don't know. Ask somebody from Syria and ask somebody from the United States, you're going to get a totally different answer.
It's so true. Very true.
I don't know any Muslims. That's my input.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. It's like,
I'm from Georgia.
That's what I was saying. I don't.
I'm from
run-
Georgia,
I don't run
and,
into them. I don't.
They're not here. Now we do have we have a Jewish community down in Jewish Hills. I'm sorry, Druid Hills.
I see what you did there.
I'm sorry, everybody calls it that.
We
Dude.
also have a lesbian community in Decatur.
Yeah, Decatur. Actually, Decatur, Georgia.
That's awesome.
It's called Decatur.
There's two parts of Decatur. There's the parts of, I used to live there when I first moved here, and I moved into
Really
a
funny.
house in the ghetto, which is which you hear in a lot of rap songs. Decatur, and so there's this border that is between Decatur and Decatur. And I remember I would sit out on the porch of my house, which is right on the fucking border, and you'd see these lesbians like jogging with their dogs, and they're heading toward the abandoned Avondale Mall. And if they didn't look like they were going to turn around at my street, I would yell like, "No, you're done. Turn around, lesbian. It's over for
Save
you
yourself.
right here."
There are pit bulls and guns over here.
It's very dangerous.
She's gonna run you over with you. She's gonna come back and run you over with her Subaru.
Yeah, but it's a very fucking cool part of town. Decatur's very fucking interesting with that lesbian and gangster.
It's a weird
mix.
dichotomy over there.
It is very
You
strange.
go to a restaurant over there.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, how am I sitting here? All right, anyway. Look, I did want to some of you in the chat and some people who have been watching us for a while saw my brilliant response to Christy Winters that was released right before last MythCon, because some people look, Chrisiosity. You guys are familiar with Chrisiosity, yes?
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But just the other day, I believe it was April 28th, which is like last Friday or something, she released the third part in her MythCon video series.
Wow.
Now, in this video series, actually during part 2, I believe, and look, I communicate with Chrisiosity. I've been on live streams with her. We disagree about a lot of things. I'm not left enough for her or right enough for everyone else, and but we did have a conversation about the build up to MythCon IV, in which a lot of people were saying, and I'll tell you where these people came from, Akkadian Times, that you guys were, that the conference was going to be overrun with alt-righters and white nationalists and Nazis.
Sweet, I'll bring my tiki torch. I'm ready to party.
Oh, God damn it. Well, we're going to fly up there, and then we're going to stop by fucking Home Depot and buy the tiki torches there.
You can't bring them on a plane?
I think it's a bad idea.
What is
It
with
feels
these
bad.
leftist-
It's TSA, dude. It's not me.
Fucking TSA or SJWs.
But
bunch of letters.
But Chrisiosity, look, she leveled some criticisms at the conference, and one of those though was that people, there was and you know what, I can't remember, to be fair, I can't remember the podcaster who had said, pointed out that everybody was sitting there pointing at all the Nazis that were going to show up at MythCon IV, and then what ended up happening is the conversation afterwards was all about Sargon and rape and shit like this. Like when the Nazis didn't show up, they changed the conversation.
Oh, change the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the narrative. And but Chrisiosity in one of her, I think it was part 2 of her video series, had said that nobody said Nazis were going to show up. Did you guys hear anything about that?
Well, we had to have a conversation with the Pabst and explain to them that Nazis weren't showing up.
Did someone maybe write a letter?
And
Kind of
phone
directly,
calls.
yeah.
Multiple emails, multiple phone calls, multiple threats. I mean,
They directly asked Brian, "Are you bringing Nazis to
Yeah,
Milwaukee?"
so we worked.
Yeah.
With the Pabst in the past. And we had a good relationship.
He got up in my face.
Yeah.
And he wanted to like look me in the eye. Like we had solved this over the phone, and the guy wanted to look me straight in the face.
See if you're lying.
Cut me off, and he goes, "Look, dude, I need to know if there's going to be any Nazis here."
Yeah.
I got look. We
Like,
had
I didn't even know who the head guy was, and like then I knew it.
we had that conversation. We had a conversation with a friend of ours from Gulf City Cartoons. His name is Ghastly, and the quote that he
Everybody
gave
go
us.
subscribe to Gulf City Cartoons. Those guys are fucking awesome.
The quote that he gave us was, "You have enough fake Nazi parties, eventually real Nazis start showing up."
That is
So
true.
really what's happening is you've got
It was the Kekistan meme.
the meme kind of, which is dead now, right? I mean, no one's doing
The
that
meme
shit.
is fucking dead. I know that there are people
But-
in the chat with Kekistan flags as their avatar right now, and
Really?
the
I haven't seen
viewership
it in a
starts
while.
dropping.
But the thing is, it's really what the what's the word I'm looking for? The narrative that the SJWs want to paint, because they've learned, and I watched this when I saw Chrissy Winters talking to that Wolf guy on one of her chats around the same time that you did your video talking right at her with MythCon last year, is that they get the Keck joke. And everyone says they just don't get the joke. No, they get it. But they understand that controlling public perception is way more powerful.
It is.
That all they have to do is control the normies, and then they've got their numbers. Because
That's right.
on YouTube, they don't have the numbers.
What the normies believe is what matters.
That's it. And as long as they can, and then all of a sudden, Destiny, the video game is taking out a pair of gauntlets from the hunter
That had the Keck logo on them. Yeah, it looked too much like the
Kecky,
Keck. Yeah, it was very too
apparently.
Kecky.
And all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, sorry, this apparently is aligned with white supremacy." I'm like, because they know, they get the joke, they get what's going on. They're not that lost on it. They just know that all they have to do to shut down any detractors from them is just call them white supremacists a bunch and get the normies on board. So when MythCon came around last year and you bring in Sargon and all that, all they had to do is try to convince the populace outside of the normies and stuff. You control them, you control the world, and that was going on.
Yeah. Now,
honestly, when we were going through that, I mean, now that we went through it, I'm not really intimidated by any of it. But that was the part that was scary about it. Is like, are these, ignorant normies gonna buy into this? And now we got labeled, alt-right. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Nicaragua. I didn't even.
it's pronounced Nicaragua.
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 Soy Nicaraguense. But anyway, so the point is, again, I'm a first-generation immigrant, Hispanic, Latino. I'm an alt-righter here. You know what? They know nothing. I founded the group with Sean. They know nothing about us, and it's just all about labeling.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's like their tactics are just failing left and right. I mean, seriously. I mean, think about it. They're trying to deplatform people. I mean, it's like really scary, like how big of losers they are. I mean, like you literally sit around on Twitter and just write up a bunch of bullshit about people. I mean, seriously, how pathetic is your life at that point? And
Hold on, that's the entire substance of my Twitter feed.
Yeah,
and
wow.
I'm offended, sir.
Well, now you
I'm
gotta go make
offended.
some deletes.
I'm offended.
Well, that was the thing I also saw with that, claiming certain things were a white supremacist or alt-right, and I'm sitting there looking at, Derek Blackman is in the photo. Chris Worski is in the photo.
Yeah, that was part of my beef. I was in India. I was in India when MythCon was happening.
Chris Reagan's in the photo.
Yeah,
He's
and
Puerto
so
Rican.
I woke up one day and saw an article from Christy Winters on the Akkadian Times, and the headline had the picture of all of us with Sargon, all these around the Kekistan flag at VidCon, and then she was going in there and saying why that is a symbol of, like that the Nazis were gonna, and I made this video that because I was a little offended. I made a video to her, and today I just wanted to make an homage here to to the little man in the video, to my left here.
Your second evil
the little
head.
Indian, like little dried up
Raisin Man.
Who's the guy from Two Men and not Two Men?
2 Men and a Baby.
Not 2 Men and a Baby.
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen, little dried up Charlie Sheen over my shoulder. I was like, you know what? I haven't thought about tiny Charlie Sheen in a while.
Don't know where he is.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, and I don't know if he's okay in Jaipur, India. And I just want to say, tiny dried up Charlie Sheen, I miss you, and
I wish you the best.
I wish you the best, and I hope everything's going okay for you there.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, she went one step farther. Do you remember her? What she said Kekistan was an acronym for?
Yeah, kill every kike. That was in my.
And immediately set up the Aryan Nation.
That was in my video.
Well, here's the thing.
That's what triggered me.
But here's the thing.
And tiny dried up Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Both of us were upset.
Yeah. Look how frustrated he is in that picture.
Look at him. Look at him, Christy. Look what you did to
You
tiny
hurt-
Charlie Sheen.
You hurt dried up Charlie Sheen's heart. What's left of it?
God.
But
I'm sorry, tiny Charlie.
But I don't think.
I hope he subscribed. I gave him a business card.
But
it's all a game.
she
guys.
doesn't. Okay, she she did a make 'em ups on what KEK was.
Yeah,
But
she did.
yeah, if she gets called Fitzy Splinters, she pitches
will
a
DMCA
fit.
you into oblivion.
Well,
Go ahead, guys.
It's all a game. I mean, this is all it is. That's why we don't pay any of them any attention. Again, these are critics that never showed up to the conference. They thrive on the drama. It's really like the Real Housewives fucking shows. Like the people really get into this shit because they're, oh, what is she gonna do next? Oh, what's Barry gonna say? Oh,
We thrive off of drama, by the way, and I just want to say once again, you have offended us. Everybody, what is this? Shot number 5? Do it.
Well, there's a point. Like some people are in this all for drama, and they do everything
Thank
based
you.
on strategy.
Thank you. I
There's a
appreciate that.
spectrum. There's some people that actually believe it. There are some people that I'm sure follow Christy Winters that are really freaking worried about the alt-right. They don't know much about
I'm worried about the
conservatism, and they wig
I know
out.
they're crazy, and
Like,
it
how
wigs
do
me
they
out.
know? And I think so. Some people are genuine, some aren't, and I think it's important to talk to the genuine folks and
That's
not.
You use
you can
strategy
skip those that aren't
very
going to argue
loosely.
honestly.
use strategy very loosely. I think it's just nobody's really following them.
Well, let me tell you, something changed between then and now.
Charlottesville,
And
man. It's
that was
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, and then the exposure and the rise of actual alt-right YouTubers who weren't Sargon. And all of a sudden you're hearing the opinions
JF and-
of JF, John Francois Agape, and you're hearing the opinions of people like him
Baked
and Baked
Alaska.
Alaska,
Yeah.
who was kind of a fucking fake alt-righter. Everybody, you fell for it. Fuck you. You're
Lowe's,
the idiot.
Allsup, right? I mean,
Yep, Allsup, and these guys suddenly got some exposure, and then you realize, wait, now next to them, yeah, all right, maybe saying that Sargon is an alt-righter is a little ridiculous. I don't agree with Sargon on a lot of things, but I certainly don't consider him alt-right.
But it got confused though, because Milo was out there, right? Now Milo doesn't fit the alt-right, and I guess my definition of alt-right means that you believe that culture is downstream from race, that there's something genetic about culture that Western civilization could only come out of a white, majority white area. So that's what I define as alt-right. But that there's some that think Milo, he was saying he was alt-right, but he would just meant that we're like, he was thrown. He doesn't say that anymore. So I will concede that there was a shit ton of confusion on what alt-right actually is.
Well, no, I think it's even deeper than that. All the world's a stage, and everyone plays their part. And Milo is just a shock jock. He's going out there saying things that are outrageous for the clicks, for the attention. I mean, this role, if you will, has been around forever. I mean.
But he defined himself as alt-right before it had a good definition.
Well, fine. But the point I'm making is there's just some people that want to stir the bucket and they know exactly what they're doing. And there's some people that blindly follow them, unfortunately. And, what is alt-right? I mean, that's a fucking weird ass. It's a ridiculous stance. Like, we actually got to meet some, for real alt-righters at Kilroy's, a couple of that were attendees. They're fucking nuts. I mean, these people are mental. I mean, they really do. There's something wrong. They need like medicine and stuff. But it's very
That's
true.
legit. That's legit.
I do have a question. Not that I wanted to change the conversation away from the alt-right, but I did want to talk about conferences again.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? And the thing is, we got to end this stream soon, and I do want to end on some conference questions here.
The Kilroy conference.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Obviously, y'all saw the birth of it. It happened right after our VidCon trip. Where a couple of people...
Yeah, we were there with the guys who were starting it. Dave Cullen from Computing Forever, as well as Based Mama. We were both there at when the conversations were happening of like we should have this Kilroy conference. Of course, it went shit show, and you'll never find anywhere where me and Pat said we were ever going.
As y'all were starting to catch wind of the Kilroy conference, being that you were already 4.5 years in. Was there ever a point where you're just like watching them step into landmines?
Like these noobs. Well, look at these fucking noobs.
Yeah, they took some bad advice. What
they were trying to do, like they really had some bad advice from Sister Danger, and they admit that, and that the NDA thing, that's more like a corporate thing. Like when you're dealing with trade secrets in industry, you sign NDAs so you can be like, hey, I'm not going to use this other company's fucking trade secret. I mean, this is a corporate thing. When you're dealing with like independent entrepreneurs such as yourselves, you don't do that, because the uniqueness and the independence is like everything you guys have. I mean, that's what you own.
Well, you didn't need them.
Yeah,
you should trust the people that you're going to have on stage.
Correct.
You should be able to trust them to say, hey, don't announce until we announce.
You don't need NDAs. You don't need contracts necessarily. You need contracts in some cases, very, very limited amount of cases. But there's a good time to do that. But that has to be approved by all parties involved. But the other thing, just from a planning standpoint, Base Mom understands this too. We've had conversations with her. When you can't just say who wants to be a speaker. Unfortunately, when you're the organizers, you have to come up with a plan and say this is what we want it to look like. Run through the names, start initial communication, start building what you want it to look like, instead of saying, hey, if you want to speak, come here. Because you kind of saw like how crazy they
lost control of the ship.
Yeah. So you lost some control there, and then and some of the criticisms that were thrown their way, it just came because of inexperience. I mean, when we did MythCon 1 and 2, we had to learn a lot of things on the fly, and you make mistakes early on, and it was
like have coffee there in the fucking morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Holy shit! Did I get bitched at?
You didn't have coffee.
We had like 2 coffee pots, and it lasted through 10 people.
That's how little, and it's funny. It's the exact same thing I thought about. We went back to the coffee from MythCon.
Yeah, I know that when we get there, our whole premise, because we're not speakers.
So no, we're not speakers.
We don't have to
we're
be
there to bring the party.
Yeah, we're going to be partying, and we're going to be
partying with the people.
MythCon.
Yeah. And that's one thing we haven't dealt with, is that we're going to have a couple people who are as our guests there.
Yes, that's the next thing we wanted to get into. But we will be getting in on Friday night before the con actually starts. So our goal is to try to make sure any panelist or anybody there early gets so hungover that their panel is awful and we destroy your con from the inside out. There you go. New SJWs, man.
New SJWs.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, instead of calling us Nazis and shit, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Pull the goat out of the horses.
We'll show you what a shit show really
is.
is.
We want people to be able to work on their feet, man.
Yeah, we saw how much attention happened last year.
Well, just real quick to close out Kilroy, like I hope they do it again. I hope they can keep it going. We wish other conferences nothing but success, because it's a symbiotic relationship with all of us. If there's no economy, then none of it will be successful. So I hope they do well. I hope other conferences start popping up and start inviting different viewpoints like we're trying to do, and different personalities. I really want to see this model continue, because the atheist model right now is really struggling, and it's kind of scary, watching them fall one by one. So
I agree with that. I mean, when it comes to like TAC and even the last American Atheist Conference,
joke,
I mean, they were using our conference as their promotion to say we're not this, so come to our conference.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah,
it's like, okay,
all right, cool.
Yeah, look, we want to read a couple of super chats, and Pat, you may want to start here. It's Chaos Eve.
All right, he says, man, he's been in the chat all night. Why does the guy in the middle look pissed? Is it because he has? Is it because he has to hold his own mic? Hashtag get middle guy mic stand.
Yeah.
Nope, not that.
No, he's actually just upset because he's wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt.
Yeah, nobody told him. Nobody told him we're all wearing shirts with offensive sayings on them.
Yeah,
He didn't
he's
get it.
Nicaraguan and they named him Fritz. He's
It was
pissed.
70.
Fritz, the Nicaraguan.
That sounds all right.
Wait a second. Yeah, I'm like, somebody's grandfather is a war criminal.
My family heirlooms are all of my Jews.
Oh, anti-Semitism. All right.
All right, what's the next one?
Artemis Brain Sample, $5 says anyone over 35 needs to hear that alt-right is mostly white trash neocon.
It's
Correct.
actually it's more people that need medication. Like really, that's all it is. It's weird behavioral problems that they have. It's really
Yeah,
fun.
they do get some. There is a little bit of that. Finally, hold on. Can you pronounce this? It's $5.
Exile or eight.
Exile
Or eight.
Accelerate.
Accelerate.
What is
that?
You can't get it past us, guys. We're still
He's a Pepe punk frog.
Pepe Punk Frog, who looks a little bit kind of like me, kind of jaundiced. But anyway, the content is: will MythCon concede the legitimacy of the blue whale Alahut Alazim as the one true God and join the battle for fright supremacy? Hashtag all hail blue whale. Hashtag.
That's awesome. It's a meme I need to look into.
Yeah, I gotta-
You gotta look
yes,
at Gulf
you
City
do.
cartoons.
Gulf City cartoons, everybody. Go check them out. You will love it. And they are the ones who
They mock the
held
alt-right.
enough fake Nazi parties that finally real Nazis started to show up.
Yes.
And
Well, they had Richard
So did he
Spector.
like take over the flying spaghetti monster? Did he just denoodle him and
look, Blue Whale doesn't acknowledge flying spaghetti monster and hashtag spookile. Look, we love those guys, and let me tell you right now, the guys from Gulf City cartoons are fucking hilarious, and the cartoons they put out are fucking really funny. If you three have not seen Gulf City cartoons on YouTube, check it out. You'll be glad you did. It's fucking hilarious, and they're good friends of ours, and they get way more super chats, and therefore are better people than us. It's a simple
Judge by
algorithm.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have any exiting?
What I wanted to do was
conversation?
talk a little about, look, we have a couple tickets to give away.
Right.
And what I've done is I've put a hashtag in the description of this video for Twitter. Please tweet out and on Twitter, it's hashtag PTW MythCon. And what we're going to do is, I think what we'll do is we'll announce the winner Friday on our live stream with some black guy who we will have here in
Well,
studio.
he's not just some black guy. He's
the
Derek.
black guy.
He's the black guy.
The black guy.
The some black guy.
Oh, that's
The
great.
some black guy.
So Derek will be here in studio with us on Friday. We're going to announce the winners. If you were wanting to go to MythCon, if you were planning
If you're
on going
somewhere
to MythCon,
in the Great Lakes area, which
Or-
I hear
or
almost
if you were
like
just
living
like
near the beach.
Yeah, if you were just like, hey, I'm willing to drive there, but if I can just get like a price break by getting a free pass in, we can be that price break. To
Dude,
get
we're
you
the
in.
hookups, bro. We're the hookups. We can't
So,
drive you there because we're going to be
that
wasted the whole week.
That hashtag again is what?
Almost every
Party
state.
too.
Yeah, that's conference and after
Yeah, that's
party.
after party too.
2 tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all are going to allow us to give away tickets to the fucking after party as well? This is the whole shebang?
That's actually where we shine.
No, look, if you have not seen us at an after party, everybody, ask Blair White and the poor suckers who invited us to her party at
That would be Jeff and Mims.
Jeff and Mims. We after parties are where we shine. Everyone forgets who the speakers were, who the panelists were. All they remember is who the guys were that they had their pants down and were funneling liquor from the top of the wet bar. You just wait. Look, you get to do this with us all day. You could drink with us all day. I know that. Hey, look, what time did the bars start serving in the Pabst Theatre in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Like 10:30 in the
Yeah.
morning.
10 fucking 30 is right when they stop selling.
Somewhere. I think Atlantic time.
When the conference begins, 10:30. In fact, once we let people in at 10, I think we can start serving the drinks right
That
now.
is awesome. That's right when they stop serving Egg McMuffins at McDonald's. So as soon as you're done finishing that delicious Egg McMuffin off and crumbling up that wrapper and throwing it in the fucking Milwaukee streets, you could be getting in line with us
On our way over to
for the
Silk.
first round of shots, which are on you. Look, we covered the tickets in the VIP pass.
You've been researching?
No, he's a comedian.
Now there's a
Yeah, I got to work at Joker's.
Somebody's actually done stand-up.
I was gonna work over at Joker's, but then
Oh yeah, you
I
were
was like- I was
saying
like-
you were trying to get a.
I
You were
was
going to
well,
do
I was
like.
going to, but then I realized I was like, wait, I'm gonna be stabbing my own dick because I was like, there's no way that if I go work Friday night. that
No,
I'll
Friday
make it-
night we're going to
Yeah,
the,
that I'd have to work Friday night,
hang out with everybody.
and then I'd party with Silk for a while, and then I wouldn't make it to MythCon until late in the afternoon.
No. We're going to party with the MythCon crew
whole
all
time.
fucking weekend. We're getting in early Friday, and we're going to fucking just MythCon the fucking shit out of this until they're kicking us out after we missed our late checkout on Sunday. Yeah, look, we're going to be all up in Wisconsin's ass.
Yeah, Milwaukee and MythCon, you better be on the pill because we're gonna be all deep inside you.
Yeah, and everybody in the Southeast, this weekend we're having a meetup here in Atlanta. Thursday night for the super secret cool kids, we're going to take some black guy out to Tongue and Groove here in Atlanta for the fucking probably the best fucking party of the week.
Yep.
In the ATL. Friday we'll do a live stream. Saturday.
May the 4th be with you. Friday stream.
Yep, May the 4th be with you, Friday Nerd Stream. And then Saturday, we're going to have a meetup here at Battle and Brew in Sandy Springs in Atlanta. Please come on out. We're going to have some black guy. We're going to have that guy T. We're going to have some dumb American. I don't know which one. We'll pick her later.
Clever Jester.
Clever Jester's going to be there, the
good
Twitch streamer. We're going to have a good time. And so we hope you all can make it. But be there Friday for the live stream because we're going to give these tickets away. The hashtag's in the description. Also, the links to the MythCon conference and to the Mythicist Milwaukee YouTube channel are in the description. Please go subscribe to these
And check
guys.
out their Mythinformed podcast. It's really
Yeah,
good.
the Mythinformed podcast is very good. And if you want information and facts, that's where you go. You'll like them better. And look, before we wrap this up, guys, say your final farewells.
Thanks for having us, guys. I really appreciate it.
We love talking to you guys. So come on, don't thank us. Don't pander. You're the
Hey,
popular
guys.
ones.
Truly
We're
an
looking
honor.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you guys in Milwaukee. It's gonna be a great time, and yeah, to make it, and yeah, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be like nothing you've ever seen before. I think this one. So.
Well, you know what? I looked at the guest list, and with Chris Reagan and Armored and Shoe and
Blair,
some black guy and Blair
Bunty.
White and Bunty King, and it is something I've seen before, but not many other people have, as we have all partied by ourselves, unsupervised, at Bunty King's house in Los Angeles, at his Airbnb.
Okay, we're saying that we might still be friends with them by MythCon because we're going to see them all.
We're going to see them again, and so some drama. We don't know what drama is going to happen.
At VidCon in a month
Yeah.
or so.
VidCon derails everything.
Yeah, I have a feeling because we're going to be hanging out with all of them, then we'll probably.
But what you want to do is you want to be there when everybody's fucking having a good time, and these people are like, coming out from behind the camera and just hanging out. It's really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to hanging out with some of the new people I haven't got to meet yet, and I think this MythCon is man, it's a big freaking deal, and if you're anywhere that and you can afford to get to it, I think it's something you definitely need to be there for, and you should be ready to be up bright and early, waiting at McDonald's behind us in the drive-thru, and then at the bar immediately after. You're gonna love it.
Meanwhile,
appreciate that.
don't
Yeah.
convert to Scientology or some
Thank
shit.
you. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't worry. Look, everybody, I'm happy to talk about my thetan levels. I will have some Scientology literature, but
Maybe we
between
should
now and
bring
then,
in-
I'm going to get a
can we
fucking
bring, like,
mailbox
an
full.
e-reader with us?
It's
Bring
an
one.
e-meter.
Yeah.
E-meter. That's what I meant, e-meter. Bring that with us, And
maybe we could detect some
zap some people.
Yeah, yeah. We just reverse the flow.
Testers. That'd be funnier. Just have people blow into it.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
Right now.
Just test everybody's blood alcohol levels and then call it thetans and say, you need to get your thetans up. See you at the bar. Shots on you.
Get your thetans moving towards the bar.
Some guy just puked them all out.
Just evil leaving the body.
It's just getting it all out. Just getting the evil out, baby.
All right.
All right, everybody. Look,
downtown Milwaukee, the heart of Milwaukee. You're gonna love it.
oh man, I'm really excited. The Pabst Theatre is legendary, and even though I don't like that Blue Ribbon award-winning beer,
PBR me any day.
PBR is like, it's
They
so
won an
funny. It's
award.
from there.
They won an award in,
In
1892.
Yeah, something like that, and like not 1 cent, but it's hey, we won a blue ribbon like fucking 25 years ago, so fucking A, it's a quarter.
We have Milwaukee's best or Blatt's.
You know what?
Milwaukee's best is also their worst, by the way.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Hey,
It's
an
ironic.
the
Name.
beast.
I'm a hams guy.
Hams.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you guys for fucking hanging out with us and talking about this, and we're looking forward to meeting you guys in person. I think it's going to be really cool, and we're going to have a super good time, and I hope everybody will come out and join us. It'll be really cool. Anyway,
Awesome.
Pat.
I want everyone to go slap a like on the bottom of this. I want some thumbs up. I want some thumbs up now.
Yeah, give us some thumbs up. And I guess that's it. We're going to play this super cool outro. And then I'm going to go to the bathroom because it's freaking killing me.
It's piss 30.
It is
go watch my
definitely
podcast.
piss 30. Thanks for hanging out with us, gentlemen. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Peace.